Now to the United States. It seems like Donald Trump's doublespeak is now more glaring than ever, but as long as it benefits India. Is the US all set to roll back its 50% tariffs on India? Well, that's the sense Donald Trump is giving, and it's had a direct effect on the Indian stock markets today that rallied in the green right from the start. In the latest round of his doublespeak, Trump struck a far warmer note today on his Truth Social platform, where he wrote, and I quote, I'm reading it out for you, I'm pleased to announce that India and the United States are continuing negotiations to address trade barriers. I look forward to speaking with my very good friend, Prime Minister Modi. I feel certain there will be no difficulty in coming to a successful conclusion for both of our great countries. And Prime Minister Modi, in a rare reaction, has acknowledged the post. He's called India and the US close friends and natural partners, adding that both sides are working to wrap up discussions at the earliest for a more prosperous future. But before anyone really pops the champagne here, let's not forget that this is classic Trump. Hardly consistent. Weeks ago, he blasted India for buying Russian crude, accused Delhi of fueling Moscow's war machine, and pushed Europe. Also, we hear simultaneously he is now pushing EU to slap 100% tariffs on India and China for buying oil from Russia. And while he simultaneously does that, he also puts this out, a message on his Social Truth platform, where he asks for, where he basically says that India and United States are currently negotiating hard, and they believe that we are going to come to a common table. Remember, he first called India a dead economy in July, then reversed himself in August, calling Modi a great friend, and now again, tariff to trade deals. The zigzag now is quite evident. Meanwhile, reports show that the US military-industrial complex has profited immensely from the Ukraine war, with explosive growth in arms orders and AI defense systems. Even as Trump points fingers at India, United States defense seems to be earning heavily, all thanks to multiple wars happening across the world. So do we see a thaw in tariff blisters between United States and India? Or is this just Trump's turn to yo-yo? Another round of his doublespeak. This time, India has also underlined that talks are very much alive. Commerce Minister Piyush Goyal on one of the platforms has said that India is in active dialogue with the United States for a free trade agreement. So we're keeping our fingers crossed. Let's just hope that these tariffs are reversed, because priority is certainly our Indian economy. Joining me live, Ambassador Prabhu Dayal, former Indian diplomat, to give us a little take on how far can we rejoice looking at Trump's message today. Can we rejoice? Adit Kothari also joining us, geopolitical expert. Sir, Ambassador, your take first.
Well, as you yourself put it, Trump has sent mixed signals. Let me mention that just a couple of days ago, he asked the European Union to impose 100% tariffs on China and India in order to pressurize us from not buying Russian oil. He wanted that the European Union should put these tariffs so that both China and India stop buying Russian oil. At the same time, he has sent this rather nice message to our Prime Minister, and he has posted on social media that his administration had resumed trade negotiations with India. And he said that he's pleased to announce that India and the United States are continuing negotiations to address the trade barriers between our two nations. Now, of course, Prime Minister Modi also reciprocated warmly. So there is a lot of diplomatic maneuvering going on. But on ground, has there been any change? The US has not taken back the tariffs. They are still very much in place. Our exports are being hit as they were being, as soon as the tariffs were imposed. So there has not been any change in the on-ground situation. Let me also mention that Trump is under a lot of pressure from his domestic farmers' lobby, because earlier this year, China had put a ban on a lot of US agricultural exports, including soya beans, which were, and China was the biggest market for that. And negotiations with China are going nowhere. But the Trump administration does want this trade dispute with China to be resolved. So there are some signals which Trump has sent to China. The imposition of the 25% penalty tariffs for purchasing Russian oil is a signal to China.
Yeah.
Look, we all say that why has he not imposed these tariffs on China? Because China is their biggest export market, and he is negotiating with China for a trade deal. So he doesn't want to jeopardize that, but he's sending a signal, as indeed he's sending a signal to other countries with whom he is engaged in trade negotiations. So on ground, there's no change, but I do welcome this sort of messaging that is taking place on social media, which indicates that there is a willingness on the part of both sides to iron out the differences.
Okay. Well, Adit, would you believe that Donald Trump's messaging here is a positive sign for India? Should companies already rejoice that Trump tariffs will not be binding, at least for the long haul?
I think I'll echo Ambassador Dayal's thought here. I mean, the statements may be viewed as positive, but how much of that actually translate into actual policy is something that we will have to wait and watch. I mean, India is keeping its doors open, and the one thing for sure is that Trump's sort of fickle-minded, transactional style approach to diplomacy has caused a massive amount of distrust and opened up the trust deficit Pandora's box between India and the United States. I mean, so long we both viewed each other as very reliable partners, but now that reliability has completely gone out of the door. And it's just not with India. I mean, we've got to look at how Japan is reacting to its negotiations with the United States. We've got to see how France and Australia are basically reacting to Trump's style of negotiations. I mean, but the one thing that comes out certainly from an Indian perspective of thing is, President Trump may have written a book called The Art of the Deal, but how to actually execute the deal, I think Prime Minister Modi is doing a very fine job. The whole approach with boosting ties with Russia and China, did send out massive shivers down the spine of the Americans, and that is what could have been resulted in the change of tone over the last couple of weeks that we've seen. But even then, the so-called the so-called lapdogs of President Trump, and my diatribe is towards Peter Navarro and Mr. Bessent. The attack dogs have not, they've not calmed down yet. In fact, just about minutes ago, Peter Navarro said something ridiculous.
Sour, yeah. Peter Navarro continues to fire salvos. A final word, Ambassador Prabhu, and on how much leverage do you think India has here? I hear there's lots of sharing within United States among people in business, among techies, on how America will not be able to survive this. This tariff on India will really cost American companies a lot, and their own government, rather their own courts and their own companies are going to pressurize Trump to withdraw this.
Well, you're absolutely right. There is unhappiness in the U.S. industrial sector regarding this trade dispute with India. But a little while ago, you referred to how the American defense industry had made a lot of profits out of selling weaponry to Ukraine. Now, the American defense industry is part of the deep state of the United States, and it controls policy to a great extent. Now, the deep state of the United States is interested in having good relations with India because it sees India as a very big defense market. India is the world's largest importer of defense equipment. The United States is the world's largest exporter of defense equipment. So there is a natural affinity, a natural correlationship in this context. But if the political relationship is soured on account of the trade disputes, then the deep state of the United States is not going to be happy because it fears that it is losing out a market which it was in the process of opening up. Of course, the defense deals were still subject to a lot of questions because India wants transfer of technology. We pursued a Make in India program, and the defense industry, the defense manufacturers in the United States were not so keen to transfer technology, so there were some hiccups. But nonetheless, That was the big area of focus, and that is where the United States could make a lot of profit. So the deep state is pushing the Trump administration to try and sort this matter out. Let's see how things shape out. But nonetheless, there are welcome signs that there is a willingness on the part of the Trump administration to take a fresh look at the matter, and we would be only too happy if that happens.
All right, we're very happy if that happens. We're seeing the Indian markets trending in green today after Trump's post, but not too sure if we could jump with joy so quick. Anyway, looking forward for the best. Thank you both of you for joining us. I really appreciate that.